Hello, everyone. I'm Don Ghost, the worst movie reviewer, and today we're going to be talking about Dark Knight. I just got out of a screening for this movie, and my initial reaction is I don't like this movie. I don't like this movie. I don't think this movie should have been made. What is this movie about? Well, the movie is loosely, and I mean loosely, based on the tragic event that happened at a Aurora movie theater during the midnight showing of The Dark Knight Rises. Um, this movie to me feels like a Terrence Malick movie. His movies are just like random images of like the sky or people doing stuff, and there's hardly any dialogue. This is the same thing here. You get the gist of what everyone's doing here and what's happening. There are characters in here scattered throughout, and they're just like they're just scrambled, and it's like, okay, I know what one character's purpose is and I know what he's doing. I know what another character's doing. It's like you got one person who's like a former war vet, and he's very depressed and he's quiet. Then you got this woman who's like obsessed with her body, and she has a vlog and everything. She takes constant selfies throughout the movie. Then you have like a kid who's like obsessed with video games and violence. And you have this kid who's just like a loner, and he's quiet, and he ultimately commits the tragic event in this movie. And it's like the movie to me feels like a movie that came out a while back called Katie Plays Christine. And what Katie Plays Christine was about, it was about an actual event that happened a few years ago with a lady named Christine Chubbuck, who was a news anchor who committed suicide on live television. Katie Plays Christine comes out, and it's like a documentary slash biopic. And what a lot of people were wanting to see was Christine shoot herself. And the tape is nowhere to be found on the internet. And so what that Katie Plays Christine movie did was it's like it amped the audience up, building and building, trying to get to the moment where a lot of people wanted to see the suicide and stuff. But then the movie played everyone for fools, and it's like, is this all you want to see? This is what you don't need to see this. There's no point to this. And I feel like that's what this movie does. This movie knows why it's here. This movie exists for the reason of, I think, people who know about the Dark Knight Rises Aurora Theater shooting, and then you go to see this movie wanting to see what happened with certain people's lives before that tragic event happened. You get that with this, but it's so vague and it's so just boring. It's like Moonlight. It's like I look at Moonlight. Moonlight is a good movie, but it's just so slow and boring. I can't follow it because it bores me and it puts me to sleep. And with this, I don't think this is as good as Moonlight. This is a bit more vague, even though I can understand what a lot of the characters are doing here. It's just this movie shouldn't have been made. There's no point to anything that's happening. I mean, a lot of people want to say that this movie is a message about American gun control and like the how people are so into their own thing and they're not aware of their surroundings and all of the dangers and this stuff. And it's just like, to me, the movie doesn't point that out. It's just random people doing random things, like a Terrence Malick movie, except Terrence Malick movies, I mean, I would say that they make a bit more sense. And with this, it's just random stuff scattered throughout, random people doing random things. And yes, it eventually leads up to the climax of the movies where, things happen. And it's just like, I fell asleep multiple times because I was bored. I didn't care. And this movie's not compelling. This movie is there's the only emotional thing that I got out of this. The only emotional thing I got out of this movie was the music. I thought the music in here was phenomenal. It's very eerie. It sets a tone of dread throughout this movie. It's very dark. Like it immediately kicks off the movie, and you're just like, yes, I'm in, I'm game. But then this movie's so mundane, and it's just so slow, and it's just like there was a movie that came out that countered the Katie Plays Christine movie, and that movie was called Christine. And Christine, starring Rebecca Hall, is a perfect movie. I love that movie because it's like it honors Christine Chubbuck. It may be a fictionalized story with just a one thing that actually happened in her life. Who knows? I don't know. But I like the Christine movie with Rebecca Hall over Katie Plays Christine because The Katie Plays Christine movie is just like it doesn't need to be made. It feels like it's profiting off of this Christine Chubbuck lady's death, whereas the Christine movie has given me some dramatization and an actual account of this lady's life, making me care about her emotionally, giving me some insight as to why did she want to shoot herself and all that. And so with this has the thing of like, yes, the Aurora Theater shooting happened. We know this, and we're here because we want to get involved with the lives of people who may be fictionalized, but get involved into their lives leading up to this event, feeling some empathy for them, feeling like, yeah, these people are mothers and fathers and daughters and all this stuff. In this movie, I feel like it tries to do that, but it falls completely flat because it's just random stuff happening. Then I think what the movie does for some reason, which is just really bad, it kind of tries to execute like a mystery where it's like who you think the shooter's going to be. Is it going to be this person or that person? But then they give it away in the middle, and then it's like, okay. And to me, they don't give a reason as to why this person does this. It's just like some random thing. And yeah, it could be some random thing, and that's fine. But I it's just so boring. It's so slow. Yeah, the scenery's great. It's eerie. There's a lot of dread in the atmosphere, especially with the music. The music is fantastic in this movie. The directing is very good. But just overall, I mean, you could let movies get away with this and be like, okay, yeah, it's just a random view into someone's life, and they're just doing random stuff like petting their cat. Why does that have to be in the movie? I can understand you just showing random scenes of someone driving a car, just going to the grocery store, then getting out of their car and just standing there looking at some trees, and it's just like that shit doesn't need to be in there. If you want to show some just random shit, have them doing like random shit of like, oh yeah, I'm just walking down the hallway in this theater, which they have in this movie, and it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just like you just have too much random shit in here to where it's just like this movie's only like what 80 minutes and it feels like 3 fucking hours. And what, I can't just let all movies go and be like, yeah, you're just gonna throw random shit in there. I don't like this movie. This movie doesn't it shouldn't have been made. They didn't need to make this movie. They should have done it like what Rebecca Hall did with Christine. It's like, yeah, you show some honor and you honor the people who lost their lives. You give some dynamic to this movie, some depth. Maybe I just wanted the regular movie. It's like you watch Katie Plays Christine. That's like a biopic, different kind of like movie, and then you have Christine and Rebecca Hall is like your average movie, and that's what I think they should just make this an average movie instead of trying to make this an art house piece. That's just dumb. This movie didn't need to be made. So overall, I'm gonna give Dark Knight. I want to give it an F, but I'm going to give it a D. I'm going to give it a D for effort because it's like it tried. It's like, yes, it set the tone off the bat. It was very dark. It was very gloomy. It was I felt the dread instantly when the music's being played. The music definitely sets the tone. The random scenes that happen with the average people in here. Yeah, I followed it up to a point because it just kept going on and on and on. It's like I get it, I get it, I get it, and it's just going on and on forever, and it's like it doesn't stop. And you just show a random scene of them petting their cat. What does that have to do with anything? Absolutely nothing, you know. And this movie did not need to be made. This movie did not need to be made at all. Just no. Just I give yeah, man. Don't watch this movie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It could have been better, man. It could have been. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.